Texture.
Yeah, this is Texture from This Is Not Pop, Black Lantern Music. Hypno Kid on the beat. Listen. Yeah, I'd just like to remind you, I'm not part of your community. Please kindly exclude me from your definition of unity. Trying to be diplomatic, step back, I've got immunity. You should see the state of the fucking unit we built up. It's bitching. Rappers starting new religions over what we got cooking in the kitchen. Grab your board and get the kick flips in before the store cops start bitching. Did you ever walk backwards through a collapse of your own making? Did you ever stop to clap away the shame of your own partaking? Ever cut your throat and bleed only for them to tell you that you're faking? Been to a flat to buy weed. Before you knock, you smell the bacon. Learn to trust your own amnesia. If you forgot, it's probably rotten. Most of the eras I lived through were sullen and misbegotten. Barely alive beneath the fat gash and regret like Doc Cotton. Economies crash in slow motion. They call us West Enders. Civilization's a race to the bottom. Akkadian programmers trace us through circadian vibrations as they pass through the distant orbit of our Planet 9 originations. Our destiny, our destination, burning flags at the end of days and nations. How can you claim these are hallucinations? Chromed up titanium constellations containing the complexity of thought forms constructed behind a cursed mirror. Complex machinations of the interdimensional interlopers who poison your internal monologues. Listening for whispers in the fog, the ghost presences of ancestors in whose name we bear the mark of shame. Yeah, we come from slave traders and colonists. Whether apologists or abolitionists, we're complicit in its blackest midnight. Caught mid-flight, crucified carrion birds whirling a broken twilight. Enthralled to these violent delights, in flight towards a violent end, or ending in the limelight, ending in the limelight. Watch me counting my blessings with compulsive obsession, trying to nail down this consciousness to a physical presence. Sleep splendid in evanescent regression, yeah. Praying at the mossy altar in the forest god sessions. My words leave impressions like catastrophic impacts from asteroids shattering equators. Never the greatest or the wokest. I was shaking when I wrote this. Never the greatest or the wokest. I was shaking when I wrote this. 5 seconds to midnight. Yeah, texture. Yeah, and so I lift my gaze beyond this horizon, and as the walls come down, suddenly the world goes silent. What if none of this violence touched my timeline? Third eye blindness. Yeah. I didn't want to write this verse. I already seen that fallout. I couldn't even think these words. Thought crime's gonna get called out. Feel too much. Shudder when I spit these bars out. I didn't even want these visions. I didn't want to smash these prisons. And I don't give a fuck about your psychology. Lost ontologies, ideologies. Call them prophets, call them prodigies. They're just dead gods to me. And if it's all too fast, we can slow it down, just ask us. But if you're scared of the past, you don't want to know these answers. Look in that glass, future gets darker, faster. Call me Cassandra, wanna be tape man, I'm a past master. Want a quick death, just ask her. I could run miles in the dark through levels of a hellscape just to brush past her. Foul hex caster, raised by devils in the depths. Every little thought is breathless. His head came to rest and the body went breathless. Rain came down as the cops came to arrest us. Now he rests in peace, talks to me when I sleep. Figures in my past like shadows, buried in the ground like barrels. 6 feet down where the sound is hollow, hallowed. Hard time living in the narrows. Shadows without wings drown in the shallows. A pale yellow palace in the shadows. There's no light where I'm from. Rally round a black hole sun. The creed we teach says reach for extinction. Bleak heat creeps till it sleeps in your thinking. Curled in the bottom of the bottle that you're drinking. Sign our names in blood. Didn't even clean that blade off. Drops of rust in a flood beneath the place where you take off. That's just rain washed down from the pavements into the drains, love. That's just rain, but it's sacred. I sing to you in this weather. Half past never. Pass that terror to my chest. Always keep a third eye open. Didn't have to leave me broken. My heart's gone cold, but my mind stays open. And when the ferryman comes, I'll give him your token. So I lift my gaze beyond this horizon. And as the walls come down, suddenly the world goes silent. Yeah. This one, Big Susan on the beats. Scoop Records. Much love, much respect. Yeah, listen. Illuminated manuscripts, imperial passages. This language is the last of us. Listen, this revelation is alchemical, a chemical poetry that describes the cascading degrees of permutation in a living simulation of platonic solids, transfigured into shadows on cave walls, filtered through every flood myth and megalithic architectural arcana. Carefully positioned to bring forth a standing wave, we quarry stone with vibrational tremors, laser corrected through complex centrifugal tempos, aligned along the axis of a constant constellation, traced against the belts of dead heroes or the eyes of our absent fathers. Antediluvian brain chemistry is the mainstay against heresy, doves cast from top Salem brought down by ravens. Bowed wood bound down crystal plinths on sacred waters. Watchers wait by circles of stone in holy moonlight. Blood spilled upon sigils, complex genomic synthesis, altered and adapted, mixed with mutagens of virulent pathogens, inoculating us against spiritual arrogance. Yeah, this path is a labyrinth, a door opened by ghost walkers in sight of the home straight, on a close time-like curve as we drift past Saturn and say peace to the ashes of Yuri Gagarin. We are the living flesh encoded in holy holographic antimatter, left battling appearance in the semiotic fallout. A godless trinity of indestructible energy, ever living in the eternity of now, to transmute base materials into worthless displays of glittering perfection is the curse of our awareness. Trapped inside this predator's gaze, we are the minotaurs at the center of every possible maze, and simultaneously we are the silver thread leading upwards towards sunlight. Don't turn your head to watch the passage of your beloved, lest they get sucked down beneath the pitch dark waters of the Styx. Yeah, flying too close to the sun, our wax wings will melt down like gold flake candles, burning out to sputter in the darkness with a small spark that becomes conscious. And at the end of time, your body will become stardust, gathered in the absent light of extinguished suns, till the dark embraces every single one, just as we forgive our sons. Yeah, an eternity in the space-time between zeros and ones. Between zeros and ones. Yeah, listen. Illuminated manuscripts, imperial passages, traces of a race we ran. Language is the last of us. This language is the last of us. Illuminated manuscripts, imperial passages, traces of a race we ran. Language is the last of us. Illuminated manuscripts, imperial passages. Yeah, this language is the last of us. Peace, I mean texture.
How do we educate our children to take their place in the economies of the 21st century? How do we do that, given that we can't anticipate what the economy will look like at the end of next week? Every country on Earth is trying to figure out how do we educate our children so they have a sense of cultural identity and so that we can pass on the cultural genes of our communities while being part of the process of globalization. How do we square that circle?
You call that radio?